What's up? Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we are gonna get into how to set up a caloric surplus. So I am currently headed to the grocery store. I have approximately 0 groceries in my house. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm picking up. Let's get into it. Show you guys what I got from the grocery store. We got some Greek yogurt. All of the meats, if I don't end up using it this week, I'm just gonna pop it in the freezer, and that'll actually go same thing with some carbohydrates like breads or bagels. All of it you can just pop in the freezer and it's totally cool. We picked up some chicken thighs. You guys know I love my ground bison, chicken sausages, eggs from Pete and Jerry's. Craving pork chops for some reason, so we got some of those. Pre-marinated chicken thigh, which should be awesome. Some butternut squash ravioli, and same thing, these can be thrown in the freezer so I don't have to eat them immediately. Got some fresh fruit, some fresh veggies. You guys know I love my Smash Krispies, gluten-free crackers. Stocked up on some mango slices. Got a little microgreens mix, which I'm super hyped about. These guys we're gonna throw in the freezer. We got some paleo waffles. Same thing, just stuck in the freezer with some turkey burgers. I have tons of frozen veggies already in the freezer, but grabbed a couple more. I've been really digging these guys. You can find them at Sprouts, they're awesome. Lastly, we stocked up on some spices and some sauces. So you guys know I'm a huge fan of Primal Kitchen. And then Trader Joe's is the GOAT when it comes to all things spices, and some ketchup. Today, we've got a wild Remy in the wild. Oh boy. Woo! So today we're gonna cover how to modify your nutrition and your exercise in order to gain muscle and get really strong. As we've discussed in previous videos, maintenance calories are the total calories required on a daily basis to maintain your body weight. Maintenance is how many calories you can consume a day without seeing any changes to your muscle, your fat tissue, the scale, all that sort of stuff. And so whenever we ask people their goals, the most common response we get is that they want to gain muscle and they want to lose fat. The problem is like those goals really aren't possible at the same time because they sit on two completely different goal spectrums. And so unless we are severely overweight, we're new to strength training, or like maybe we're doing the real good drugs, like we're probably not gonna achieve both fat loss and muscle gain at the same time. In order to gain muscle, we have to be in a caloric surplus. And so this means we have to be consistently consuming above or beyond whatever our maintenance calories are. And so ideally, like we should be eating a caloric surplus 1 to 2 times a year for several months at a time. And reversely, in order to see fat loss, we have to be in a caloric deficit. That means we're consuming less than our maintenance calories. And so same thing, like we really shouldn't be dieting more than 1 to 2 times a year for 4 to 12 weeks at a time because our thyroid health and our sex hormones take a hit. Our metabolism slows down because again, like food is just chronically insufficient. It's also impossible to lose just fat when you're dieting, so we're always losing some muscle when we're losing that fat, which is why your people that chronically diet and restrict themselves, like they just don't have tons of body definition. So most people need to stop worrying so much about endlessly chasing fat loss, and they need to worry about getting strong and putting muscle on their frame. In order to figure out how much you need to be eating to be in a caloric surplus, you basically just need to know what your maintenance calories are. And so if you need help with this, check out my YouTube video titled How Many Calories You Should Eat for Your Specific Body Weight. It's worth mentioning that someone who's been lifting and strength training for years and years, and they already have tons of muscle on their body, they're gonna have a very different surplus need than someone with less training experience and less muscle on their frame. The longer you've been training, the harder it is to gain muscle. And so reversely, someone that's brand new to lifting, brand new to training, they're gonna have a much easier time quickly packing on muscle. During a caloric surplus, the person new to lifting will likely need a lot more food. Someone with a high training age and more muscle actually might not need as many extra calories. In my opinion, it's better to always go conservative during times of a caloric surplus and slowly make changes rather than rushing, quickly driving up calories, because then you end up gaining a bunch of excess body fat rather than muscle, which is what you're chasing. I typically like to start clients at a caloric surplus that's about 105 to 110% beyond their maintenance calories. This might look something like 100 to 400 calories extra per day for men and about 100 to 300 calories extra per day for women. I also like clients to aim for a calorie range rather than kind of stressing, obsessing over hitting a super specific number. In order to calculate 105%, we would simply take our maintenance calories and multiply it by 1.05. To calculate 110%, we would take our maintenance calories and multiply by 1.10. So if someone's maintenance calories were 2,500, the calculations above would come out to 2,625 calories and 2,750 calories. We'll obviously round and we'll say 2,600 to 2,800 calories. We should be aiming to gain about half a pound to a pound per week. If we're not seeing the scale slowly slide up, we obviously need to continue increasing food until we do. I'm a big fan of flexible tracking, so I prefer clients to focus on mostly high quality foods and then just worry about hitting our protein and calorie goals, rather than also stressing over specific carbohydrate and fat goals. So when I'm calculating protein goals in a caloric surplus, I like to set clients' protein at around 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. If we used a 130-pound female as an example, they would aim for somewhere in the neighborhood of 130 to 155 grams of protein. As for carbs and fats, eating higher carb during a caloric surplus is definitely going to be way more advantageous to muscle growth, to exercise performance, to supporting recovery. Obviously, they're friggin' delicious. But your actual carbohydrate and fat goals during a surplus really don't matter that much. The number one priority is eating beyond our maintenance calories, aka smashing all the food. Our second priority is crushing our protein goals so that our body has the building blocks to build muscle. For women, I would still recommend gaining a minimum of 65 to 75 grams of fat just to support our hormones, our thyroid health, our menstrual cycle. But ultimately, again, eat in a way that you enjoy. As long as you're recovering like a dream, you're feeling good and inside out the gym, you're golden. Because muscle doesn't grow overnight, you'll likely want to commit to a minimum of 2 to 4 months in a caloric surplus, if not a little bit longer. But it's also important that we adjust our exercise accordingly as well. You'll definitely want to limit cardio, any sort of aerobic work, any sort of conditioning pieces. So for example, doing tons of running, smashing endless metcons at your CrossFit gym, it's just not super helpful when we're chasing muscle gain. I would aim to lift heavy 4 to 5 times a week and absolutely non-negotiable 2 rest days. If you're not sure where to start on the programming end, look for a program that has progressive overload, or in English, a program that builds each week and increases in difficulty. If you need a good program, check out our physique and our dumbbell physique programs over at Paragon Training Methods. If you need more help with all this, feel free to slide to my website, which is LoriChristineKing.com. You can check out my ebooks, my nutrition programs. I literally have hundreds of free blogs right at the access of your fingertips. And that's all I've got for today, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, please give a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you later. Poop.